Hi, I'm Stephanie Marsh. I'm going to give you a little description of the Home Education Advisory Council, known as the HEAC at the Department of Education. The HEAC has been around since 1990, was written into the original New Hampshire home education law, and it's unique to New Hampshire in that we have a council that is made up of half homeschoolers, half representatives of the education establishment, and the purpose is to promote a better understanding of homeschooling. Basically, it's a way for homeschoolers to talk to school officials about some of the issues that come up and vice versa. There are 6 members from home education associations across New Hampshire, and there are 6 members from education officials, as it were. 2 people from the New Hampshire Department of Education. One is from representing higher education. 1 from the New Hampshire Association of School Principals. 1 from the New Hampshire School Boards. 1 from the New Hampshire School Administrators. Those 2 positions are not filled right now. And 1 representative from non-public, that is private schools. There are also 2 non-voting member legislators on the board, 2 representatives, and then in addition, 1 senator who is also a non-voting member of the board of the council. So what exactly does the HEAC do? We try to address problems that come up with homeschoolers and home education officials before they become bigger, or just to make people aware that there is an issue. A lot of our time is spent making sure that homeschoolers have access to programs at their local public schools, curricular programs, co-curricular programs that they are entitled to by the Equal Access Law. So playing on the soccer team, taking a French class, being in the band. We also work on things like making sure your child can get a seat at the PSAT or an AP test that's given during the school day. We get information so that homeschoolers can sign up to take courses at a technical education center, things that are where classes fill up very quickly. We also straighten out the districts when they are confused about the home education law. Sometimes districts are using an outdated version of the laws. They don't quite fully understand what's going on. In this past year, we've dealt with districts that thought that people with kindergarten students needed to notify for homeschooling. We've dealt with districts that sent letters of acknowledgement for a single school year. Of course, in New Hampshire, we have one-time notification now. So once you notify that you're homeschooling, that stays in place. So no particular school year. Another job of the HEAC is that when the home education rules are updated, which happens whenever there's a law change or every 10 years. The HEAC is able to look at the rules ahead of time and give recommendations to the Department of Education. We can't make the rules, but we can make recommendations. This is important because a lot of times the school officials, if you're not a homeschooler, you don't really understand how the law works. We spent a lot of time the last time around explaining to the lawyers that no, everybody doesn't get a letter as soon as their child finishes homeschooling at New Hampshire, or they don't get a diploma. So it really helps to have us there giving advice. At present, at the time of this video, the Commissioner of Education is a homeschooling parent, but that's not always the case. We also had a pretty bad incident back in 2009 when a pretty strict bill was being proposed in the State House that would have required homeschoolers to have both testing at their local school and portfolio reviews with a certified teacher, and to submit all those to their school district. These measures were voted down. But later on, a former legislator was on the Board of Education and tried to work those into the rules. And HEAC members were able to spot those and say, no, these rules are going beyond the scope of the law. They can't be allowed. Stop that situation. What other things have we done recently? We've clarified things like the old expression that 51% of the education must be done by the parent. This comes from the original wording in the homeschooling law that says home education is provided by a parent for his own child. We can see nowadays with online programs, group activities, and all kinds of things that you can access. The parent isn't always the one doing the direct teaching of their child. So now it's just that parents can provide for the education of their child in many different ways. We get contacted by people who are worried that their neighbor, their daughter-in-law, whoever, is not really homeschooling. Sometimes we're able to step in with a little more authority and explain how homeschooling works, how it doesn't always look like what somebody expects, textbooks and workbooks, but that education is taking place and children are thriving. So the Home Education Advisory Council is working very hard to make sure that each group understands the other, the education officials in the state and the home educating family. So if you have any problems dealing with a school district or a school official, don't hesitate to contact a member of the Home Education Advisory Council. The New Hampshire Homeschooling Coalition always has a representative on there, and your local homeschooling group might have a representative. And if you join the New Hampshire Homeschooling Coalition, you'll always get a HEAC report in your newsletter and be kept up to date with what's going on. The HEAC meets every other month from September, starting in September through May at 3:30 on the fourth Thursday of the month at the Department of Education. And everyone's welcome to attend. They only take public input at the end of the session. But if you have a concern you want to see brought to the HEAC, talk to somebody on the HEAC, and we will make sure that that's brought up right at the beginning of the meeting and everybody knows what's going on. So we have a great thing here in New Hampshire that homeschoolers actually have a voice directly at the Department of Education and can point out when things are going wrong. So I hope you'll stay involved and follow the HEAC. Thank you.